Hi, I'm Diane Crouch. Welcome to the LIVgreat Podcast, where we talk about all things Ann Arbor and Washtenaw County. And we talk to super interesting people within our community. And today I am joined by Ginger, and she's going to talk to us all about her business, how she got to where she got to with the business, where she came from, and where she sees it growing in the future. So, Ginger, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. Just give us a little quick little brief background about what you do, and then we'll kind of dig into it a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I own a handywoman business called SheFix Collective, where I help especially women and LGBTQ plus people maintain their homes, make small to medium-sized repairs, and help them feel more confident in their home ownership.
Okay, awesome. What first got you into handiwork, and then why did you decide specifically to focus on helping women and members of the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah, the how I got into it is a little bit of a longer story, but I'll try to keep it brief. I have been actually practicing as a physical therapist over the past 10 plus years. I love helping people. And during that time, I've been helping them feel better, move better, get back to things that they maybe weren't able to do for a period of time. And I have just been feeling a little bit of a need to shift to something else, mostly for my schedule, for my brain, things like that. But I've been doing my own home repairs for years. I even do work on my own car. To save a little cash here and there, as we all do. There's a lot of DIY out there. But I thinking about sort of shifting to another career. It's something I really enjoy doing. I feel confident in, and again, I love helping people. So it's a nice natural shift over to sort of a new industry. And I specifically focus on working with women and LGBTQ plus people. Because the interaction between tradespeople and those folks tends to be a little bit disconnected. So tradespeople, more often than not, it's not across the board, but more often than not are men. And we communicate differently than men. Our understanding, maybe growing up, we live in a society where women aren't necessarily taught about how their home works, or how their car works, or that they can just kind of tackle these types of jobs on their own, or even how to communicate with professionals about it. So having somebody who's got a little bit better communication skills to be able to enter into somebody's home when they've got a small project to work on, it helps with confidence. It helps feel comfortable with who you're hiring. So I want people to just feel comfortable to either be able to do the work on their own or to hire somebody to help them get it done.
Yeah, you're just trying to empower them to make the best decision for themselves, whether that means and feel confident in that decision, whether that means confident to do it or confident to hire you. You're just trying to get them to a point where they feel confident in the decision.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be costly to take care of a home, especially when you have to hire professionals, and it's the worst feeling when you're hiring somebody and you feel medium about them.
Right. Yeah. I've had to hire people in the past when my husband was deployed to install a water heater and stuff like that. And I didn't have a bad experience, but I did feel uneasy because I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't know if they were good at their job, if they were a good person, any of that kind of stuff, or was the price where it needed to be. I had nothing to compare it to. So to have somebody who I could have that relationship with, to have the confidence and say, is this something that I could do? Or Ginger, would you take this job for me? I think that's kind of what you're getting to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're kind of like, that's kind of the same with relationship that we want in real estate is to be able to have like that open conversation and real conversations of whatever needs to be said with our clients. So I think like there's a lot of similarities between our businesses. So,
Yeah, definitely.
did you always, when you grew up, did you always like do all the different things or figure it out yourself, do the repairs yourself, or did your family end up calling people?
I was thinking about this the other day. I actually grew up, my grandfather was a carpenter, not by trade, as a hobbyist. So actually one of my coffee tables is something that he built that we've kept in the family. Albeit it's a little tippy, but um, he's a hobbyist. But he was also one of those, like, duct tape is supreme. We use duct tape on everything, right? That was one of his philosophies. You just tape it back together and keep moving. And I think that mindset got passed down to my dad. Not that he uses duct tape on everything. He does a much nicer job of repairing things, or calling professionals when needed. But he's very much like a go-getter. Both of the sheds on his property were built by him and his dad, and growing up, so my dad is a taxidermist. That was the majority of his career. He was a taxidermist. And I did little odd jobs for him. I stole tools from him to go make little repairs around the house, my ultimate goal was to build a tree fort in the backyard. But I don't think I was ever discouraged from any of it. And my dad has always been very supportive and wanting to educate me on how to use tools. How to use screwdrivers, the difference between a Phillips head and a flat head, how to use a drill. Those are things that even when I moved to an apartment, didn't even have a house yet, that he was like, you have to have a drill, here's your drill. And made sure that I had all of that stuff, so that I could take care of things myself. Now, as I've gotten older and purchased a home and have larger repairs to do sometimes, he tends to also step in and say, well, let me come help you with that. And I say, absolutely not. I'm in charge. I will take care of it. So for instance, I installed the garbage disposal. There was not one previously. So I had to install the garbage disposal and reroute a little bit of the plumbing underneath the sink. And he was very concerned that it was going to be really difficult to reroute that plumbing. Totally get it. It ended up being very simple. They live about 4.5 hours north. So he kept saying, wait till I'm down next and then we'll do it. And I said, I'm not waiting for you. I'm just going to do it and it'll be fine. And it was fine. So
Good for you.
Yeah.
Just act on it.
Yep.
So, very good. So if you were speaking to somebody getting ready to sell their house right now or in the near future, what small repairs, let's say like just 3 or 4 small repairs, would you recommend that they would do that you think would make a big difference?
Yeah, I think the first thing, especially if the house is already cleared out of all of your personal belongings, is to make sure that you patch any holes in the drywall. When you have that blank slate, those things stand out so strongly. If you've still got stuff in the house, some of it can be a little hidden, but if you've got nothing left in the house to patch the drywall and give it a, paint touch up, that is the number one thing I would do. Beyond doorknobs and fixtures as needed, if they look in disrepair, or if they're loose, so things like towel bars, if things are loose, it's not as appealing. And when I mentioned swapping out faucets, they might still look okay, but sometimes they do affect the water pressure, and homeowners should be kind of testing the water pressure when they're looking for a house, because that is super annoying to have to live in a house with poor water pressure for years. And so if you've got a fixture that is damaged for some reason, or there's this other little like filter thing that goes into the shower system, if that is causing water pressure issues, that's something that homeowners or potential buyers will be looking at as well. So yeah, number one is patching the drywall. Number two is all of the like loose things and maybe new fixtures, doorknobs, etc. That's the stuff I would hit.
That's really good. I'm just thinking about all those things as I'm helping my sellers get ready. I'm like, oh yeah, I should tell them to check that because I just don't think. But you're right. Like wobbly fixtures and all of that kind of stuff. It just makes buyers think that the home is not as loved as if everything was like looking all in ship shape. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
Yeah, I was like, flush the toilets, run
Yeah.
and run it for a couple minutes, run all the faucets for a couple minutes. That's important to do.
Yeah, that's really good. Let's see. What other questions do I have for you? Do you have a go-to weekend prep list for a seller who wants their home to show well without a big budget? So kind of like what we just said, but if they had a little more time, what would they do? What would you recommend they do?
Yeah, my recommendation is day one, sort of do a walk around the house and literally just make a list of everything that you notice, as if you were the home buyer, right? So things that need to be, again, drywall, areas that need to be patched. And that might mean moving furniture, if there's still furniture in the home, to see what needs to be patched. Especially if you've got animals, you just never know what's going on behind the couch. Yeah, so looking for areas like that, looking for anything that's loose, checking for cobwebs, things like that. Just writing it all down, making a big list of it, and then sort of starting to attack all of that. If you've got all of that completed, then looking more at things like deep cleaning and landscaping stuff. So giving it a fresh mow, taking care of, the bushes out front or whatever needs to be done there. But definitely starting with some of those things that I mentioned earlier. Just looking at all of the little details. If you've got to replace a plate on a light switch, or the GFCI outlets. For those who don't know what a GFCI outlet is, it's the one that when you're running your hair dryer, it cuts out. And you have to push that extra little button to get it to turn back on. That's a GFCI outlet. And it's something that, so when I was purchasing my house, it came up on our inspection that we did not have GFCI outlets where they needed to be. And that wasn't the only thing that came up on our inspection, but we were actually able to use our inspection to basically wipe out our closing costs, which really helped, when it came to closing time, that we had much less money to have to pay. But it's something really simple that you can do, is to have, where needed, GFCI outlets put in if they're not already there, especially if you've got an older home. So that's anywhere near like a water source external to the home, in your garage, things like that you have to have a GFCI outlet.
Yeah, and that does come up often on inspections, especially like you say, older homes. Not a big deal, but it's always flagged. So yeah.
Yeah, and they're super simple. It's not expensive whatsoever to have those swapped out, and it would save you potentially in some of those negotiating costs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tell us about if somebody wants to hire you, how would they go about doing that right now? And then about your setup with the half day and the day. How does that work?
Yeah, so my pricing currently, I do actually, tweaking my website last night, I do offer virtual quotes for simple projects. So if you've got something like a light fixture that needs replacing, a faucet that needs replacing, really simple stuff like that, you can actually just go to my website. I've got a handful of questions that I ask related to each of those different types of projects so that I have a little bit better understanding. You upload a photo or two, and then I'm able to give virtual quotes on that. And I like to offer a flat rate for projects so that people aren't guessing at like how many hours is that going to take. Honestly, if it takes me way too long, it's either on me that I need to be better, or we need to discuss if I run into an issue that's causing me to take a little bit longer. Then we have to discuss, maybe getting an extra part or things like that. Beyond that, then I also offer the half day or full day repair jobs. So that means if you've got a bunch of little things around your house that need to be taken care of, that you can book either a half day or a full day appointment with me. So I'm either there for 3 hours or I'm there for 6 hours, and whatever I can get done in that time on your to-do list is what gets done. And then you can always hire me additionally if you've got a couple things left over.
Okay. All right. That's great. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Yeah, great. Number one, I would start on the website if it's something really simple. That way you can get that virtual quote. And I know people nowadays, like some of us are down for the phone call and some of us just want to type it into a form, which is fine, which is why I developed the form that I did so that people could just enter stuff for simple fixes. So you can start on my website. It's SheFixCo.com. Beyond that, if it's something more complex, or if it's multiple jobs that you want to have some eyes on, you can still go to my website and book an appointment there, or you can call me. My phone number is 734-325-4404. And you can contact me and we'll get an estimate scheduled. My estimates are complimentary. It's just for me to get a better understanding of what's going on so that I can price things appropriately.
Love that. And I love the idea of you having the virtual estimate too. Because and that just is so convenient, saves so much time. So
Yeah, it was something I was thinking about going, yeah, I would like to be able to see everybody's home ahead of time, but if it's one light fixture in somebody's house, that's simple and it should just be a flat rate.
yeah, it
Um,
makes sense. For
yeah,
every
and I've run into some some light fixtures that take a little bit longer, but again, that's either on me or we need some additional equipment. But beyond that, they should be a flat rate, simple fix, done and done. And if people want to just fill out the form online, you
Yeah,
know,
easy peasy.
right.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I'm going to make sure that all of your contact information will be in the show notes. So everybody will be able to find out your website, your phone number, every way to get in touch with you. I really appreciate you chatting with me. I know that we'll be working together closely on some projects in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. So thank you so much. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in to the Live Great podcast. And have a great, wonderful, sunny Wednesday. Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Diane.
Thanks. Bye.